Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then a speech comes along that isn't just heard, it's felt. It rumbles through the cracks of a broken nation and shakes loose the truths we have all been too tired or too terrified to say aloud. Blessed Geza's speech, entitled Zigananda, is exactly that. A 14-minute political thunderstorm disguised as a sermon laced with fire, fury, and frightening clarity. But let's be honest, as with many of Geza's deeply layered monologues, most people only catch the smoke and miss the flame. The metaphors, the history, the prophetic agency, it overwhelms some, and others get lost somewhere between the spirit realm and the national budget. That's why here at Zimwaves TV, we have taken the liberty of pulling back the curtain and delivering to you a blow-by-blow, no-nonsense breakdown of the most explosive political message since Joshua Nkomo was chased into exile. Let's start where it all ignites, with the name Zigananda, a word that once referred to capitalists during this liberation struggle. Back then, it meant those who worked with the oppressor to secure personal gain while the comrades fought and died for the nation's freedom. But today, in Geza's hands, Zigananda has evolved into something much more sinister. It has now morphed to refer to the new black elite, those who wear the blood of the revolution as cologne, while robbing the very people it was meant to liberate. These are not mere politicians. These are looters, dressed in camouflage, priests of patriotism who have replaced white Rhodesians with their own greedy reflections. And Geza, with prophetic calm, declares their time is up.
Zigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zigananda kuva kunata kwire kusvikira munangagwa manje soto zvivarisa.
The betrayal, according to Geza, is complete. The liberators have become landlords of suffering. The land they fought for now belongs to boardroom cartels. The flag has become a costume. The people abandoned. It is no longer a war between black and white. It's a war between the truth and hypocrisy, freedom and fake nationalism. The real revolutionaries and the Zigananda. And the painful part, the traitors didn't come from outside. They were born among us. They know the national anthem. They quote Mbuyaniand. They knew before spirits in public, but knew before Swiss banks in private. They come from Lotito, Uzumba Maramba Pfungwe, Zaka Jerera. They come from everywhere in Zimbabwe. They are your uncles. They are your cousins. They are your nephews. And while many speakers would stop there, content with riling the crowd, Geza does something bolder. He doesn't just point fingers. He summons a generation he knows is broke, bitter, unemployed, and drowning in fake empowerment. He speaks to the youth like a man on borrowed time, warning them that silence has expired and passivity is no longer a survival tactic. It's a political coffin. He urges them to organize, not with guns, but with spiritual clarity, to rise, not just in protest, but in purpose. Because the Zigananda have grown confident in the belief that the youth are too drunk, too docile, or too divided to unite. And that, according to Geza, is the lie that must now collapse. But what makes this speech truly remarkable and dangerous to the system is the moral weight it carries. Geza doesn't just speak as a political commentator. He speaks as if delivering judgment from the ancestors. His words aren't aimed only at ministers and soldiers. They are aimed at every Zimbabwean who has accepted cramps and silence in place of dignity. He calls for a return to spiritual order, not superstition, but real ancestral accountability. He says our ancestors didn't die for tenders. They didn't dream of independence so that only one family could own the banks, the mines, and the future. They fought for Ubuntu, not offshore accounts, for land, not sandcastles of propaganda. And then comes the final twist of the dagger, a warning wrapped in grace. Geza does not call for chaos, he calls for awakening, for the masses to see beyond the headlines, beyond the slogans, beyond the daily distractions of manufactured enemies. He calls for spiritual resistance, a revolution of the mind and heart that dethrones the Zigananda without firing a bullet. But make no mistake, it is war. Not a war of violence, but a war of truth. And those who have built their castles on the backs of the poor should start to feel the tremors. Because when a nation awakens spiritually, no fortress can stand. So, what does this speech Pastor Zigananda really mean to us as Zimbabweans? It's not just a chant, it's a national alarm bell. It's a call to reject corruption in revolutionary robes, a refusal to be ruled by men who sing Chimurenga songs in public and make $1 million deals in private. It's a fire lit under every passive soul who thought survival was enough. And it's a funeral bell tolling for an era of betrayal that has overstayed its welcome. This isn't politics as usual. This is prophecy. This is revolt. This is the line drawn in the sand. And if you felt your heart race while listening to Geza but couldn't quite put your finger on why, now you know. Because deep down, you recognize the truth in his voice. You felt the spirit in his rage, and you understood, even without understanding, that something old is dying and something holy is being born. So, ladies and gentlemen, if all you heard was Monica Mchangwa, Chris Mchangwa, my friend, and Mnangagwa chanting slogans, Pastor Zigananda, if that's all you heard, now you know exactly what Geza said throughout the so-called rumblings. Stay with Zimwaves TV as we continue to expose the masks, decode the metaphors, and speak the truths that government press conferences dare not utter. If you are done being ruled by Zigananda, if you are tired of selling your silence for sugar and slogans, then hit that subscribe button, because this revolution will not be televised, but we will narrate it anyway.
Chitando migozi mavuta naimuswere unomboriani newe masuka ivure duriripi Julai moyo uri mutengesi Zigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zigananda kuva kunata kwire kusvikira Mnangagwa manje soto zvivarisa kazembe unoita nezvei iwe moyo vanhu vati pasi newe Mnangagwa mukuru weZigananda manje soto zvivarisa Zigananda nguva yakwana inzwa imazita azvo zvese Zigananda kuva kunata kwire kusvikira Mnangagwa manje soto zvivarisa wikinero chivayo mari yedu iripi iwe sakupwanya chimukute chiripi George kuva matanga tosa mari yedu isu vana vevu kufe matazarirwa